This is my brand new Hoyt Carbon RX-8. I'm super excited to get this bow set up. I've been running the RX-7 the past 2 years and I absolutely love that bow, but I've done a couple things different with this RX-8 that I'm excited to talk about. One of them is I'm shooting 80-pound limbs on this thing. I actually have it backed out just a little bit, so it's probably gonna be right around 76 pounds. And the reason for that is just to get a little bit more power and a little bit more penetration, especially for elk hunting. I have 2 really awesome elk tags this fall that I'm super excited about, super blessed to be able to have in my pocket, and I really want to make the most out of them. So I'm going to the 80-pound limbs this year, like I said, and I'm just super excited to get this thing set up, rocking and rolling. Let's hop inside and put this thing to work. So first up, I'm going to be shooting this at about 28.5-inch draw. The nice thing about these new cams from Hoyt this year is I can actually set this to 28.75 if I want to, because I'm usually just a little bit over 28 is what feels great for me. But for right now, we're just gonna set it right at 28 inches, 28.5 inches just to start. And if I need to adjust it just that little bit, 1/4 inch more, then I can in the future. Right there. Good and tight, but not cranking on them too much. Do the same thing on the bottom. Slide it right on over. Okay, double check that. Capital D, capital D. One other thing to note here on the cams is this adjustment right here. You can go from 75, 80 to 85% let off, as well as a hard or extra hard feeling on the cam. It's currently set at 85% let off in the hard, which is actually exactly how I want it and I like it. Now that we've got that done, it's time to tie in our knock sets. Now that the knock sets and the D-loop are on, I'm gonna put it in my brand new draw board that I just whipped up together a couple months ago, made it from scratch with some stuff from Home Depot, and we'll check the sync of the cams and make sure we're good to go there. Super close. Now that we've checked our sync, it's very, very close. Gonna be good for right now for their initial setup. So I'm gonna put on my rest. This is the Q80 Integrate MX2. It's basically the updated version of the rest I've been running the past couple of years, the MX, and it's one that I've liked a lot. Really haven't had many issues at all, and it's worked out great for me. So we're running that once again this fall. Couple of my favorite things about this rest. One of them, since it's the integrated and it fits right onto the riser, it's super lightweight and low profile. Although rest weight usually isn't that much of a concern, as it's something that's super important to have, and to have something that works well and is durable, it's nice to be just a little bit more lightweight, and even more so, it's not super bulky and huge and isn't gonna easily get bumped from rocks setting the bow down and things like that. Nice and low profile, which is always nice to keep it kind of tucked inside and out of the way. Now that we've got the cord in, we're gonna grab a couple arrows and set the rest. See how it's shooting. Quiet. It feels nice. I'm not sure what the weight is. I backed it out 2 turns, but I'm not really sure what it was to start with. It might have been a little bit over 80 to start. Draw length feels really good. Sweet, that shoots nice. Next up, I'm gonna put this peep sight in. I've been using the 3/16 size for probably 2 or 3 years. I actually used to run a quarter for a long time just because I liked how much light it gathered and I was just easier to see. But after switching to the 3/16, I've just seen just a little bit more accuracy, just more fine-tuned aiming basically, especially long range. So that's what I'm going with. It seems to work really well for hunting. I haven't had any issues with gathering light or it being too small or anything like that. I actually really like it. So 3/16 is what I'm going for again this year. So next up, we're gonna put my sight on, and it is the Black Gold Ascent Verdict 5-pin. This is a sight that I've been using for, I guess this will be my 6th fall. And a couple of things I like about it. First of all, it's super durable. Another thing is it's a movable 5-pin. I really like having a 5-pin so I can have my 20 to 60 set. I never have to move my sight whatsoever if I'm shooting in that range, which is pretty much the only time I ever shoot an animal is within that range. Not really shooting animals further unless it's like a follow-up shot that I really need to get another arrow in or something like that. But it's also nice because I can move it and move it down to as far as I can shoot with arrow clearance to practice at longer ranges. So just the sight I've been running the past couple years, as I mentioned, and I just have a lot of confidence in this sight. It's nothing crazy fancy, it's nothing extravagant, but it's simple and it works, and it's worked really well for me over the years. This orange is pretty used. Yeah, definitely bolt. Or the wrong size. Alright, it's on. Initial tie-in just so it doesn't go flying when I shoot. Couple loops on either side.
Is that where you're aiming?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, the bottom dot, it's a little to the right. All right, now that the peep sight's super close to where it needs to be, let's jump right back inside and just shoot through paper to get an initial paper tear and just see where the rest is at. This peep sight is turned a little bit at full draw, so we're just gonna put it back in the press and take a half twist out of the bottom side of the string to level that back out. All right, let's get our handy dandy paper tuner set up. That look pretty good?
Yeah, I know they did.
Arrow almost went through the target.
Is that a bad thing, Micah?
It's a good thing. Pretty similar. You can see I have on both shots pretty much the exact same. Nock is low and to the right. There's two different ones. There's gray ones, the black ones and red ones, and then the bow actually comes with these silver ones in, and they're just different sizes. So the smaller adjustment is going to be these black ones. So we'll put the black ones in. So after the first, I think it was 2 shots into the paper, we knew we needed to move the spacers and shim it in one direction, but we accidentally shimmed it in the other direction. We went right instead of left. So, or did we go left instead of right?
We went
left instead of right. And kind of screwed it all up, and then I had to move my rest. So anyway, I just swapped them back over, put different spacers in different size, and they're hopefully in the right direction now. And we swapped it in the correct order. So let's shoot it through paper again. Actually, we're gonna probably move my rest back and then shoot it through paper and then see what we're getting.
Okay. Your chances.
Oh, that looks better.
Man, if we just knew what we were doing the first time, we would have had it.
We would have saved about 45 minutes. Experience is the best teacher. Gonna be shooting 2 10-inch Hoyt stabilizers, one for the front, one for the back bar. I might play around with these a little bit and either add a little bit of weight or possibly end up using a little bit longer bar. I'm not sure yet. I like a 12-inch, but if I can just put a little extra weight, a 10's pretty solid as well. Since this is gonna be my Western bow, gonna be hiking a lot with it. Probably gonna be doing some really long days with it, so it's not the worst thing in the world to have just a smidge lighter bow, but I definitely don't wanna sacrifice confidence or accuracy just to save a couple ounces. So this quiver that I'm going to be running is the 6-arrow removable 1-piece. I think this will be the 4th year I've shot this quiver, and I really like it. Really don't have anything bad to say at all about it. It's lightweight, it's really sturdy, it can suck up super tight to the riser, pretty easily removable, and I don't know, just worked great for me, so I'm running it again this year. So one of the nice things about this is it's very adjustable. I like to run my quiver as tight as I can to the bow. I typically don't shoot a lot with it on, but since this is going to be a Western hunting setup primarily, there's definitely possibilities where I'm running and gunning after elk, and I do have to shoot with the quiver on, so it's definitely nice to have it as close to the riser as possible. Alright, if you take a look at that right there, not totally perfect, it actually might be just a smidge close there, but that's a good starting point for right now. I can get my arrows in there. I want them off the ground, so when I set the bow down, they're not in the mud, so I'll have to do some adjustments a little bit later, but that's pretty close for right now, and I'll just take that thing off for shooting with it and doing some Bareshaft tuning with it in a little bit. But let's get these stabilizers on. Front one, I typically just run in the traditional spot, up a little bit higher at low to grip. I have shot with it down here before as well, and it shoots really awesome right there, but I've just been shooting it up here for so long that it's just kind of natural to me. And also when I'm carrying my bow out west, I actually put the stabilizer right up there against my arm, and it's really nice and easy to carry. Without that there, it kind of falls down like that. So it's actually nice to just have it like that. Easier to carry out west on long days hiking in the mountains. Put the sidebar mount here. I'll just eyeball it for right now and make some fine-tune stabilizer adjustments later with the weight on both the front and the back, as well as the angle of this. I typically run it pretty close, though I don't like a ton of flare in it. Like I said, I usually shoot with my quiver off if I can help it, so it's not like I need a crazy amount of counterbalance or anything like that, but it's definitely nice to have if I do need to shoot with my quiver on. I certainly practice that before heading out west for sure. Been pretty good so far. Let's get the new ghost sticks on. I'm super excited about these. I've been using the ghost sticks the past couple of years and they've been great. But the fact that I can just leave these on the bow all the time and just move them either forward or backwards out of the way, or just have them deployed is honestly really handy. So I'm looking forward to trying these out. So honestly, this screw that comes in the bottom is awesome, because once I get this thing in here, I'll show you what it does. So the nice thing about this lower screw, you have the first one that's up here, that's just the main one that goes in the spot of the shortstop, but there's also this secondary one so that the sticks aren't tilting left and right and your bow isn't going to be off kilter. It's going to be totally even. And another thing I did want to mention, we were messing with these earlier in the day on Josh's bow, and we were having a little bit of trouble getting these swapped out. So what we found out is you can just turn it just a smidge and pull down on it, and then you can move it wherever you need to. You really don't need to loosen these up very much at all. It's just about a half a turn, and then you can pull out, get in the groove you want, release it, and then tighten it back down. So pretty slick. All right, now that everything is gonna be on for the most part, how I'm gonna be shooting it, we're gonna shoot some Bareshafts, do some Bareshaft tuning. Let's do it. So I'm going to shoot, we'll say 2 fletched arrows and then 2 Bareshaft arrows and see where they impact. Pretty much the exact same. Let's go take a look. Definitely 4 or 5 inches to the right impact, and then you can totally see the angle is way different too. So we're gonna need to make a couple adjustments, and I'm gonna use Josh's archery wisdom to tell me what adjustments to make.
Well, you're not gonna like my answer.
We're getting back in the press.
Getting back in the press, that's
Hey,
right.
I said we were gonna get back in there. What are we shimming?
We're shimming the cam, and we're gonna have to shim it to the left, which is
what we just
that's what we did originally.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Very good.
Use. Let's go shoot. All right, so we just made those adjustments. We just swapped the shims up here. We'll see where we're hitting. I'm gonna shoot the fletched arrows again. I'll shoot 2 of them, and I'm not aiming for a dot necessarily. I am aiming for the dot, but I don't really care where it hits in relation to the dot because my sight is not sighted in right now. I'm just looking to compare the fletched arrows versus the Bareshaft arrows and see where they're hitting in comparison to one another. Two pretty close together with the fletch. Let's shoot the Bareshaft. That looked really close. Shoot another one.
Super close.
Looked like it was almost touching. But launch another one down there. Well, I hear arrow slapping, so that's a good sign right now. Let's go take a look. So it looks like this one it's slightly high, very, very slightly high, but it's in direct line with these fletched arrows. This one's just a smidge right, knock right, which potentially could be just me torquing or a little bit of facial pressure or something like that. But that's honestly a really good group for right here at 20 yards. So I think we'll go back to 30 and see how it looks. All right, 30 yards. Again, I'm probably gonna be off on the dot, but I don't really care about where I hit as far as the dot goes. I'm just looking to compare these two arrows. Grab a Bareshaft. Looks pretty close, maybe just a little low, but not terrible. Shoot one more. That one's a little off. Let's go take a look. So this first Bareshaft was really close, and then this was the second one, which is off. But I think I'm gonna shoot this once more, see if we get the same or different results. And they're pretty close. Let's go take a look at them. Should we go take a look?
I think we should go take a look.
All right. So, man, I'm honestly really happy with that at 30 yards. It's pretty good. This one's literally touching pretty much the same angle, maybe a smidge off, but I'd like to shoot at 40 and just see what it does. It'll probably amplify whichever direction they're flying. We'll be able to learn more. So after looking back at the last couple groups, I'm hitting really close, but a lot of the Bareshafts are just to the right. So when I shoot out to 40, I'm probably going to be even further to the right with the Bareshafts. So I'm just going to go ahead and move my rest a little bit to the right now and just see where they shoot after that. I'm not going to do anything too crazy, but just enough to hopefully make a difference. I just shot that last arrow at the middle dot, and I'm way low right, so I don't want to miss the target. So I'm actually going to shoot 2 more fletched and aim at the top left. I think that one was right also. Quite a bit over.
You're also shooting 40 yards.
I am shooting pretty far, but maybe a little bit more rest adjustment, you think? Or
let's look at your bottom cam shims.
Okay.
And change camera batteries.
Okay. So we're back at the press. We're actually going to make some adjustments on the shims on the bottom cam. We're gonna just swap them and see if that fixes that. 40 yards is pretty far to be, I mean, there's a lot that can happen at 40 yards shooting Bareshaft. So at this point I'm being pretty picky, which I like to be because I want to just be as accurate as possible. So we're just going to swap these bottom ones and just see if that helps at all. Is. Let's see if that did anything for us. I'll shoot right back at 40 yards. I'm gonna aim at the top left again. Oh, that was crazy. That Bareshaft, I don't know if you could tell, but it like started way to the right and then just hooked and curveballed way to the left. So that might have been a little bit too much of an adjustment. That one almost missed the target. Could you tell in that video? That's crazy.
Oh yeah, it kicks.
Oh man, that was a curveball if I've ever seen one.
So really what's happening is like we swapped those spacers, and at 40 yards, like that's a huge adjustment for these Bareshafts.
Yeah.
In all reality, we should have just swapped. We should have swapped to a different size spacer that's
And
like
kept the same, like just tiny little adjustment.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a tiny little bit different.
Well, it was fun anyway. You can see my Fletchers are shooting pretty good.
Yeah.
So. But these ones are obviously...
Yeah, if you stuck a broadhead on there, those broadheads would be way left.
I'd be missing the target.
Well, you wouldn't be missing, but they wouldn't be very close.
I might, well, oh, with fletched.
With fletched, yeah.
If I shot a broadhead with Bareshaft, I would be missing.
Yeah, that thing would be stuck in the trees.
Yeah, it'd be way over there. So that was a little bit, actually that was a lot too much of an adjustment. So I'm just gonna go back in here, back in the press once again, swap the spacers to the way they were before, and then just make an adjustment to the rest and go from there.
This is real, this is raw, folks. Come to Mike Aranki for all of your limb spacer and cam spacer needs.
Yes. It's not hard, but it's good to get a little practice and definitely good to learn my equipment a little bit better. I left my phone light on, like I knew I was going to be back here. For those that haven't either worked on their bow or had a ton of experience with these spacers, essentially all I'm doing is moving the cam either left or right on the top or the bottom so that I'm pushing the arrow out as straight as can be, and that's what's essentially making the Bareshaft, which is just an arrow that it doesn't have wings per se to help direct it in flight. It's pushing that Bareshaft out as straight as possible, which is ultimately going to result in the best broadhead flight downrange. Let's go shoot. So I moved the rest 6 clicks before.
Move it 6 clicks again.
Yeah, it wasn't much of an adjustment. Might go 8 clicks this time.
Ooh, big shooter.
Big time.
Didn't you learn your lesson when you swapped the spacers and it was like almost off the target?
It's gonna be way too much. See another curveball. 8 clicks. Try it again. Honestly, when I kind of first got into archery, paper tuning was basically all the tuning I would do. It'd be good at 3 feet through paper, couple shots, make sure I wasn't torquing anything like that, and I'd just go shoot and expect to have awesome results, longer distances, and I just wasn't getting the groups that I wanted, especially with broadheads, especially with bigger fixed blade broadheads. And I really didn't know why, but as you saw, the paper tune wasn't awesome. I mean, it was okay to start, but it wasn't perfect. And when we're going to shoot, you know, these type of shots with the Bareshafts, it's just a better way to tune the bow, because it shows you, it basically amplifies everything so much more than just the paper tune. So if you haven't done any sort of additional tuning besides paper tuning, I would recommend trying it, because you might learn a lot about your setup. Pretty close. That looks better. It's certainly quite a bit better left and right than it was before. It was way over here before, so this one didn't feel that good, but I'm gonna shoot again and try it one more time at 40.
I might click that rest up just a few clicks.
Yeah.
You know what we're doing? We're moving everything back to where it was before the paper tune.
Yep.
You ain't killing paper though, you're killing elk.
Yep. Try that. 12 clicks.
And how did you arrive on that number?
Very complicated mathematics that I just don't have time to explain right now. It's called guesstimation.
You're shooting great groups.
Yeah. Yeah, it's feeling good. Ooh, a little high, maybe too much. Maybe should have done 8 or 9. instead of 12. That one was a little low left. Huh.
What's my rule, Micah? How well can we tune?
We can only tune as good as the shooter can shoot. And I've shot, I don't know, not too many, but a fair amount of arrows at a weight that I haven't ever shot before. So it's definitely possible it might be me. It's not that bad, honestly, at all.
It's really good for 40 yards with a Bareshaft.
Yeah. My flex arrows are definitely pretty good.
That's really all that matters.
Yeah. So here we're a little left, one high, one low. These are basically touching fletching on every shot, which I'm super happy with. So, not bad.
I mean, really, you could just shoot another group again, but like one arrow going high, one arrow going low. And I mean, they're just a little bit on the left. You could give her 2 clicks to the left, but how much of a difference is that going to make?
Yeah, well, it wasn't left last time and I didn't move up or down. So.
I know, it was just because you moved it vertical. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Could shoot at 50.
Nah.
Let's do it again.
More shooting, huh?
So,
did you ever get sick of shooting your bow?
So one of the probably the biggest benefit of Bareshaft tuning, or any tuning in general, is you just get to shoot your bow a lot. Mainly if it's not working out how you want it to and you just want to fine tune it, like this. But at least we're shooting.
And I'll just add, if you're shooting your bow and you are getting frustrated because things are not going your way, take a break, come back another day with a fresh, clear mind, because if you don't have a good attitude about it, you're not going to make good shots, and the tuning isn't going to matter anyway.
Kind of similar to last time. One high right, one low left, something like that.
I bet if you shot at 20 again, I bet they're slapping.
Probably. It's not a very good group.
And what's the rule?
When you're not shooting good, stop shooting for the day.
No, that's not the rule. You can only tune as good as you can shoot.
Well, the other one's the rule too for me, because when I was younger, I used to just get frustrated at not shooting good, so then I would just shoot more, and then I would shoot worse, and then I'd get frustrated at shooting worse, so then I'd shoot more, and I'd shoot worse, and I had a bad habit, and I would punch a trigger, and then I'd get frustrated, and I'd get tired, and I didn't like archery. So that's one of my rules, is if I just start not shooting super good, like just target practicing and stuff, that maybe it's time to hang up the bow for a couple hours, or the day. That's okay. I'll shoot at 20 just for fun.
I think that's a good idea.
I think I'm done.
I think that's a good idea.
I think we'll film Rachel.
I think so.
I'll slide in later.
I think so.
I can't see him. Let's look.
It's good enough, Micah. You've killed the deer. You've killed the elk. They're all gonna die.
All right. We're back here at 20 yards. I'm pretty happy with that. I may end up shooting some more Bareshafts at like 40 another day, but for right now, I'm super happy with where we've got it. Now I just need to sight in, which I'll do in the days to come, and get ready for fall. Nice. 76.6. That's right where I wanted it. Now that I'm feeling super confident with where the Bareshafts and fletched arrows are hitting, the last things I need to do is tie in my peep sight, as well as tie my rest cord. And I'm gonna actually do that over the next coming days and weeks and make sure everything's totally dialed in 100% before I do that. But aside from that, this bow is rocking and rolling and ready for fall. Again, I'm super excited for these elk hunts that I'm gonna be taking this Hoyt RX-8 on. They're gonna be awesome adventures. Definitely look for those hunts in the coming time. Subscribe to the channel if you wanna make sure you don't miss those hunts, because I'm super excited to film those and bring those to you guys. But once again, Hoyt RX-8. It's an awesome bow. I love shooting it. It's been a blast setting it up today, and I'm super excited to get this thing dialed in further and ready for this fall. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in some future videos.